Hi there, welcome. So on our screen today we have Jones bought a car for 6,800. So we have the first information coming up here. So that means the cost price of the car. So we'll have the cost price CP to be equal to, so we have it as what? 6,800. Let's continue with our reading. He said he later put it for sale at 8,800. So that means you want to sell it. So that becomes the selling price. So you'll have the selling price to be equal to 8,800. Let's continue with our reading. He agreed to sell it to Ruby under the following hire purchase terms. So hire purchase terms. So let's read. An initial payment of 20% of the price. So you have an initial payment of 20% of the price, meaning the selling price that you want to sell the car. So let's have that. So we'll have what we call initial payment by Ruby. So we'll have our initial payment, IP, by Ruby, supposed to be equal to 20% multiplying what? The selling price of the car. So we'll have 20% multiplying what? 8,800. And supposed to get a value of 1,760 as the initial payment by Ruby. So that's the initial payment. Let's continue to read. And the balance at 15% simple interest per annum in 12 months equal installment. So that means that after he has paid the initial payment of 20%, the remainder or the balance supposed to be paid at the rate of 15% simple interest on an installment basis for 1 year. So that means that we also need to have the remaining balance after the initial payment. So we'll have what? Balance after IP, that's the initial payment, to be equal to, so we'll have what? The selling price minus what? The initial payment. So selling price here was 8,800. Then the initial payment was what? 1,760. So the difference is supposed to give us a value of 7,040. Can cross check. 7,040. So that becomes the balance in here. And out of this that we are asked to paid an installment basis, 15% simple interest on this balance. So literally it means 7,040 is the principal. It's more like a loan, right? So we'll have in that coming up here as P being the principal to be equal to 7,040. Then we have been told the rate of the interest supposed to be what? 15%. Okay. And the time T allotted for this arrangement supposed to be 12 months. So then how do you go with a simple interest? So we'll say XI being a simple interest, formula-wise, supposed to have principal multiplying rates in percentage, multiplying time. All right. So we can say that we'll have that coming up as principal, which is the remaining balance, 7,040 multiplying the rate of what? 15%, and then multiplying time, which is 12 months. So in this case, it becomes 12 over 12, or just write 1 year. So in summary, you're supposed to get a simple interest value of 1,056. 1,056. So once we have that, then let's determine the total amount Ruby is supposed to pay in 12 months equal installment after you have completed the interest. So that means I want to have total amount to be paid in 12-month installment. In 12-month installment. So how do we go with that? You'll have it here as what? The remaining balance that we have computed after the initial payment, okay, plus the interest that we have computed. And we add the two, we'll get the amount to be paid in an installment within 1 year or 12 months. So you'll have in here 7,040 plus 1,056. So what do we get in summary? We're supposed to have 8,096. Supposed to have 8,096. So that becomes the total installment figure in there, right? And then we are good to go. So let's go back to the requirement as you can see here. Calculate the amount to be paid by Ruby at the end of every month. So at the end of every month, let's see. So that's going to be A. So say monthly installment. Monthly installment supposed to be equal to the total amount, all right, divided by 12 months. 12 months. Okay. So total amount here was given as what? Per calculation, we had 8,096. Divide this by 12 months. Supposed to get a value of 674.67 currency in 2 decimal places, and you are good to go. So that is going to be the monthly installment for this arrangement. Then B. Let's see the requirement for B. B. The total amount will be paid for the car. The total amount will be paid for the car. So what will be the total amount will be paid for the car? So we'll say total amount. So total amount paid by Ruby. That's going to give us what? The initial payment that Ruby paid at the beginning plus the total amount in which she will be paying on a monthly basis for 12 months. Okay, so we're going to add the initial payment, which is this 1,760 plus the total amount in which is going to pay on an installment basis for the next 12 months, right? So we'll add the two, then we are good to go. So total amount is supposed to be equal to initial payment of what? 1,760 plus 8,096. And what do we get in summary? We're supposed to get a total figure of 9,856. 9,856. That's going to the total amount will be paid in all. And this total amount represent the cost of Ruby will be the selling price that will be received by what? That of what? Jones for the car. So let's take note of that. So the cost of Ruby will be the sales for what? Jones in this arrangement. Then the last aspect here is the percentage profit John made on the cost price of the car. So we know that the cost price of the car was given as what? 6,800. So what will be the percentage profit based on this value? So that means I will have C, percentage profit. Percentage profit should be equal to that of what? The selling price, the total selling price that John received from the payment by Ruby compared with the cost price that he bought the car for, right? Then divided by the cost price and then multiply by what? 100. Okay. So here, what was the total sales that Jones received by Ruby at the end of the day? supposed to be, per computation, we had what? 9,856. Then compare with the cost price of 6,800 per the requirement of the question here. You can clearly see that. And then we divide all by the same cost price, 6,800, and then multiply by what? 100. Numerator, the difference is supposed to give us what? 3,056. Divide this by 6,800 multiplying 100. So you're supposed to get a percentage of what? 44.94%. In two decimal places, supposed to get 44.94%. All right, so that is that with this aspect of question in business math, and it's what we call what a hire purchase word arrangement. So let's take note of that. So thank you for watching this video, and I'll catch you up in the next section. Bye bye.